And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host, Sara DiVello, and I am thrilled to host the incredible Lars Kepler, all the way from Stockholm, Sweden, here to give us the scoop in this exclusive pre-launch event about their brand new red-hot book, The Mere Man. Alexandra and Alexander, welcome. Tell us about this book.
Thank you so much. We are thrilled to be here and thrilled to have The Mere Man out. It's a beautiful book, I think.
The Mere Man follows the detective inspector Joona Linna as he tracks down a serial killer targeting young women. So it all begins when 16-year-old Jenny Lind is kidnapped in broad daylight.
Yes.
This case captures national attention, but after a while, the trail goes cold.
Yeah, and then 5 years later, Jenny's dead body is found hanging on a playground in Stockholm city. Joona Linna discovers a connection between this homicide and a death declared a suicide years before. And when another young woman goes missing, it's clear that they are dealing with a serial killer. Yeah, so I think that is kind of the start of it.
Quite intense.
It was very intense writing the book. We had actually to sometimes walk away from our computers and just take a break, breathe for a while. Yeah.
Yes, I was wondering, and I can't wait to learn more about that, what it was like to write this book, to get into such a dark and twisted tale. I want to get the inside scoop on that. But first, I just want to welcome all of our mystery loving friends on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, Murder by the Books channels, my channels, in our private Mystery and Thriller Maven Facebook group, on Bitchy Bookworms, wherever you're watching, welcome. You are in the right place. This is the right time. And we are going to get all of the delicious details about The Mere Man. So if you've been here before, you know how this works. And if you're new, welcome, or in Swedish, välkomna. We're so happy to have you. And here's how it works. Every Monday, I give you my featured hand-picked authors, and you get to ask them anything. So ask Lars Kepler anything you want about their writing process, about what it was like to write a serial killer, about Joona, their detective. Let's get into it. The comments are already coming in. Anissa says, hello, Sara and the Lars team. Anissa Joy, welcome. So happy to have you. She is a bookstagrammer. Leslie joining us from Canada saying hello. That's her signature Canadian hello. Gail Rosenfeld, top community member there. Wonderful to have you. Hey, Gail, good to see you. Sharon, welcome, saying hello from Minnesota. So great to have you. Anissa saying it snowed in South Carolina. Well, it snowed a lot of places, and this book is going to chill you even more, because it is chilling. It is scary. And welcome to the conversation. She said, I love this writing couple. And I love this writing couple too. So let's talk first about, you're married, you're a couple in real life, but you write these books together. So let's hear, how do you do it? Does one person write the draft, the other person edit? Do you ever get into arguments, fights? What's your process?
Oh, well, the writing process, the actual writing process, it always starts with an idea, and we share everything from this first idea to and forward. So it's important for us. We do all the research together. Everything, we visit crime scenes. We
talk to forensic experts. We
study police tactics and
talk to police officers, detectives. We even try out all the handguns and fighting techniques ourselves.
Fighting techniques very slowly.
Of course, but it's quite different. You can of course Google things, but it's different to feel the exact recoil of a Glock 17 or visit an isolation ward and
feel the strange atmosphere in a small cell. So to us, it's very important to have this equality in work. So
we share everything. We share everything at home too. Laundry. And,
do you do a little more laundry?
I know, but I like it.
You like it.
Yeah. So we share everything during the process.
And then I think for us, we have become more and more, we have understood better and better, I think, that starting with a detailed plot is crucial for us, because we want to have so many twists and turns. So we actually start with writing down hundreds of notes with all the different scenes.
And then we put up the notes on a wall so we can, overview the plot, and we take a step back, and then we start to dream up the story. And we talk about the story again and again, and we move the pieces of paper around and add new ones and continue until we feel that the plot is totally complete.
That we understand everything, and then we go to our computers.
In this room.
Yeah, in this room where we are. We have two computers, so we don't share one computer.
We sit side by side.
And
it's interesting because we do this totally detailed plot, but as soon as you start to write, the story comes to life, and the characters, they start to do what they want to do, and they don't care about our notes on the wall. They just do what they want, but that's the magic of writing.
That is almost the best part, when we know kind of the map, and then we just go straight out in the story.
So you have to listen to the story itself and the actual will of the characters, and just follow.
That is kind of as you said, it's a magic in it. The only strange thing is then when Alexandra writes dialogue, because then he starts to whisper, and that's kind of creepy in a way.
Well, I just hear them. I hear them talking.
It's like, it's very strange.
I think it's creepy.
So
I know that you have all these voices in your head.
So if the characters talk to you, and Alexander is whispering creepily, which is distracting to you, Alexandra, but if they're talking to you, do they ever talk to you differently? Like Joona, your detective, tells you, Alexander, that he would go to the playground and he would walk this, but he tells you, Alexandra, that he wouldn't go to the playground. He would just look at it from the nearby. I mean, or he doesn't, what do you do if the characters who speak to you tell you different things? How's that work?
Well, sometimes they do, of course.
Good question.
Yeah.
Well, we have to go back then and study the plot again and ask ourselves, maybe what we have decided isn't the right thing. Maybe we have to rethink. And most of the times when this happens, we have a third solution.
And since our whole cooperation is based on discussions, us talking, and that's a part of the creative process. So it's not a problem, actually. It's just a
part of the writing process.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for giving us a glimpse into your process, because it's so fascinating. Stephanie Cooper saying hi. She said one of her Bookstagram besties, her best friends on Instagram, is obsessed with you guys. Yay. Stephanie blogs and reviews books. She is Fire Pit and Books on Instagram. Her reviews are fantastic. At Bookstagrammer Christina Powers, she is a politically read girl on Instagram. She's saying hi as well.
Hi.
So good to have you both. Thank you so much. Stephanie saying Trish Williams has to watch this when you're off. Absolutely tuning in. Some people tuning in now or later. Lecha Haney saying hello from Texas and welcome. Susan saying hello from South Carolina. Susan, great to have you. Lecha says she says, wow, I love that your book characters talk to you. Susan says, oh, Susan, great question. She said, does writing together strengthen your marriage? Cool question.
Very good question.
Well, when we started trying to write together, I don't think that was the case, actually.
No, it was, we had a lot of arguments because we were writers individually when we, before we started to write as Lars Kepler, and we loved doing things together, and we have 3 children together, and we really, really thought it would be a piece of cake trying to write together, but merging together 2 different voices,
it's not that easy.
No, it was complicated, and we actually started to write a children's book. But we had these arguments. We had to stop because we started to fight.
Yeah, because I have my style and I have to protect.
He was very grungy, I can say.
No, I was not, but I had my style.
I couldn't say anything.
But then we tried to write a play, actually, for theater, because I have written a lot of drama, and Alexandra had been an actor for many years, so actress.
Yeah.
So we thought maybe that would work.
Easy, but it was even worse. Yeah. So for us, the key was actually to invent a third author, one who wasn't me or Alexander, but a writer in his own right, so
it's the reason behind the pen name Lars Kepler. We had to have a third author so we could trick ourselves to cooperate.
Because then we could leave our egos behind. It wasn't my style or Alexander's style. It was Lars Kepler's style.
But as soon as we had Lars Kepler, it was just a flow. And
it was fantastic.
And it was very good for our marriage. So
yeah. Because I think writing together makes us always talk, and we have to have this honesty, and
we have to solve problems together. So I think it's really, really good for our marriage.
Long answers.
Yeah.
You guys, you're so cute. You're just #couple goals, #writer goals, #marriage goals. I mean, this is just what a beautiful relationship and what a beautiful collaboration and partnership. Thank you for sharing. This is so cool. Good questions. Okay, so first of all, Sharon is saying, so obviously the writing team has improved over time. Absolutely, Sharon. Yeah. And Linda, welcome to the conversation. She would like to know, how did your book writing journey start? So let's talk a little more about your individual careers. Yeah. Alexandra and Alexandra, what did you each write before you then tried to do the children's book, which caused a lot of arguments? Tell us about that.
I think you should start because you have been a writer for a long time.
Yeah, I've been a writer for more than 30 years now. I actually wrote my first novel when I was 18, and I couldn't afford to photocopy it. It was, of course, written on a typewriter. There was no computers by then, so I photocopied. I couldn't afford to photocopy my manuscript, so I posted it. The original to one publishing house, the biggest one in Sweden, and I was accepted. So lucky for me. And since then I've been writing. So I've written 9 novels individually and more than 20 plays for the theater.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Before we started as Lars.
And for me it was different because I have always loved the theater, and I wanted to be an actress. And then I come from the south of Sweden, and I was accepted at prestigious Royal School of Theater in Sweden, in Stockholm then. So I moved to Stockholm to go on this very prestigious acting school. And then I went to a party and I met Alexander, and he said, acting, why don't you try to write instead?
Take control of your artistic voice.
So I wrote 3 historical novels before, totally different than Lars Kepler, before we cooperated. But actually, acting and writing are quite similar because you deal with the text and you have to make the text come alive. You have to also understand characters that are different from yourself.
Yeah,
you
each character,
Yeah, you have to even try to make a murderer come alive and to understand the choices of this horrifying person. It's
that's true.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the horrifying part of it, because this is a very dark book. Captivity, being kidnapped, is one of my greatest fears. The idea of a child being kidnapped, a fear that many of us have. You said before that sometimes you had to walk away from it. It was so dark. Tell us about that process. What was that like, getting into this mindset?
Well, basically, I think for us, writing these books is a way to take care of our own fears, to handle them, because it's a possibility to start a journey from chaos to order, from questions to answers, from very scary killer to stopping the killer. So it's like an optimistic journey. So of course it's scary, but we have Joona and we have our other heroes, and they
are much braver than we are.
Yeah. So in opposite to the real world, we can actually get our answers. We can have some kind of justice and make the world all right again.
And I think that is one of the fantastic parts of crime fiction is this, that you get the answers as you talk about, because in real life it's so frustrating. You almost never know why people do what they do. You almost never get the answers.
You just read about horrible things and that's it. So
kind of optimistic. We feel that our books are kind of optimistic because Joona won't give up.
But so what really scares us, what is the really hard part is some pieces of the research, of course, when you read about real killers, real cases, because then it's real victims and real suffering, and that's really, really hard.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy, and but you have to do your research. But well, that's a tough part.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that you said that you honed in on the certainty and the optimism of it, because what's been really interesting to me, I read recently that people are reading more during the pandemic, and what they're reading more are mysteries and thrillers, which often have a murder, violence, dark themes. So if life is so hard and scary out there, why are we reading these dark books? I know I am reading so many mysteries and thrillers, and I think you're exactly right. It's because while we have no certainty out there, we don't know when the pandemic will end. We don't know when or if we're ever going back to normal. But within the pages of this book, we know we will have certainty. We will have resolution. We have Joona fighting for good. We're going to get answers. Yes, this makes so much sense. Thank you. Leisha would like to know, she said you started to write a children's book. What was your favorite book when you were both children? Great question.
Great question.
Yeah.
I have to think. I was, that kind of child that I was on the library every day because I was, I had this reading hunger. I couldn't stop reading. So I think I read everything on the library in my little town where I grew up.
So we have a big tradition of Swedish children's books writers. So I probably would pick some of the Swedish ones, like Astrid Lindgren, who wrote Pippi Longstocking and all those books.
Of course. They were very, very, I love those books.
Pippi Longstocking with her red hair. Oh, bless her. I loved her. Oh, Pippi Longstocking. I loved her so much. Thank you for the great question, Alicia. Ooh, Susan would like to know, when you are on a break, do you continue to talk about the subjects for books? Great question.
Yes, great question. I wonder, are writers ever on a break? Because I think we always study the word and we study people and we think and we talk.
Yeah, I think we're pretty annoying to our children in a way, because we can't stop talking about our characters and the plot and what is happening next in our books.
Yeah,
The
but
only time we don't talk about it is when we just finished a book. We think that we gave it all. It's so intense, and we stop doing the dishes and all that the last days.
The last days when we are almost finishing.
And when we finish it, we feel totally empty. It's like we will never ever write a sentence again.
Then we start to clean the house. Then we have to do everything that
totally
we
empty.
didn't do before. Yeah.
But after a few days, one of us has
a new idea.
Listen to this.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Sharon is saying that she said the compromise part has to be really hard sometimes. I know I don't like to compromise either. So she would like to know, do you always write the whole story together, or do you sometimes split up the scenes or chapters? Great question, Sharon.
Great question. Well, we write different scenes and chapters, but then we change text with each other. So maybe Alexander just write dialogue one day, and he sent me that text, and after a while he gets it back, and then I have put faces on the people that are talking, and maybe they're doing something. And so I think when we finish a book, I don't think there is one single sentence in it that one of us has written alone. I think we have been there both.
Yeah.
Changing text all the time with each other.
Do it like hundreds of times for each chapter. It's crazy, but we have to be totally sure, both of us, that this is the best way to tell this story.
Yeah, and since we are two, it's very important for us that there is one voice, not two different voices. It has to be the voice of Lars Kepler.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Oh, thank you for that insight. And I love that you said that by the end, there is not one sentence that the other has not been part of. I mean, what an incredible partnership you both have. This I love this. It's so beautiful to see. Thank you for the great question, Sharon. Ooh, Anissa would like to know, Alexandra, does your love of acting help you with your writing? Yeah, so being on that stage, speaking those parts, what's that like for you?
Yeah, I think it's all about trying to get into the mind of the characters, trying to understand their motives, who they were, why they did what they did. And I think it's also in every book of ours, we don't write about people that are just born monsters. We want to understand them.
The complexity of each character.
Yeah.
So I think probably your acting skills helps you with the empathy you need to be able to get into each character and understand them, even though they are sometimes really annoying. So
yes, and I like also I like very wild characters.
Good roles.
Yeah, good roles.
I love that. Well, there's a lot of good roles in here. This is very cool. Okay, Linda would like to know, where did the name Lars Kepler come from? She would like to know, so did you come up, were there some other options, or Lars was it?
Yeah, actually, Lars is a tribute to Stieg Larsson because he started kind of the international boom for Scandinavian writers, and we are very grateful to him. And it's also tragical that he died before he saw his success and everything. So Lars Kepler is always saying thank you to Stieg Larsson and thank you for having written all those books.
And Kepler is from Johannes Kepler, a German scientist.
Yeah, who lived in the 16th century,
Yeah.
and he was a brilliant
He was
scientist.
totally brilliant. So.
Did
And I
you
think-
go
yeah.
through some other options, or did with the 16th century scientists? Did you look at any other famous scientists or artists or writers?
The only thing is that Lars Kepler was a woman from start.
It was Lotta Kepler. Actually, Lotta Kepler. But then I felt that I can't see her really. And then I said, no, it's Lars. It has to be Lars. But your hard drive on your computer is named Lotta.
Yeah, so we have a mother.
She is the mother of our books in a way.
Wow, that is so cool. So she started out as Lotta. Very, very cool. Thank you. Alicia chiming in to say that she's been reading more mysteries and thrillers than ever. She's also a Pippi Longstocking fan. She said, thank you for answering my questions. Yay, Alicia, always a delight to have you. She would like to know, do you have the book title before you start writing the book? So great question. Let's talk about the Mere Man. When did this name come to you? Before, during, or after the process? Tell us the story of the title.
It always differs, actually. This time it was during the writing process. So
suddenly we had it, but we don't worry so much about the title because sooner or later we know that it will come. But there have been a few times where we had the title, like our first novel, Lars Kepler, The Hypnotist.
Yeah.
We knew the title and the story immediately because it also came with the flow of having this third author and everything.
And a few times we were really, really late with the title. It was almost going to the print of the book before we had the title. So,
for which one were you late for?
The Fire Witness.
Fire Witness. So the title just wouldn't come, or
no. It was. We knew that it had to be about a witness, but then suddenly we were doing some promotion in Finland, in Helsingfors. And we were just walking around and we had it. It's the Fire Witness. And then we just called our publishing house and they were almost going to print it. And then we said, it has to be the Fire Witness.
That's perfect.
Very cool. Thank you. Susan would like to know, how long on average does it take you to finish a book? And do you think it would be faster if you each wrote alone? Great question. Susan.
I have never thought about that.
Well, we write like every day. So we even Saturdays and Sundays.
Because we want to.
Yeah, because we love what we do.
Yeah.
But it takes more than a year, like 14, 15 months to write a book.
Because we really want to have these plots and twists and turns.
All the layers, and so it takes some time. But
writing individually
I don't think so, because this is like both writing and editing at the same time. So you get new input from your partner all the time. So you never have to, as a writer, stop and take a break for a month or so to get some distance to your text. When I write individually, I have to do that because you don't know if you're on track because you're so obsessed with your story, but that's just your brain. So you have to have some else to look at it or just take a break. But when you don't need that break. You can work every day, like 8 hours a day.
Yeah, because we can reflect the text in each other all the time.
We
it's kind of a quality check we have all the time.
Yeah.
I love that. Leach saying, you are such a beautiful husband and wife team. Leach, right? I mean, they're just couple goals. Oh my goodness. Anne would like to know, how did you come up with the name? Anne, could you clarify if you meant the name of the book or their author or their author name? Could you just let me know in the comments? Sharath joining us from India. Welcome. We have such an international group here today. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the conversation. Leslie says, amazing. I like that you give the murderer a voice. She would like to know if you use real murder cases as inspiration. Tell us about this. So this young girl, Jenny, is kidnapped. She's held in captivity, later found strung up on a playground by a winch. But did this happen somewhere in the world that you saw or something like it?
No, we never use real murder cases. We study cases when we do our research, but it would be kind of disrespectful, we feel. It would be very difficult.
It wouldn't work for us anyway.
No,
because
we would feel that we had this responsibility to tell the story of this person who once lived and who maybe had this horrifying end.
So we do our research, but we never try to retell a case that actually happened.
No, but research and authenticity is very important for us. I think these kind of books, they have to have one leg in real life, so to speak, but the cases, they are fiction.
So we write about quite extreme cases, of course, but we want the police work to be accurate.
Excellent. Thank you. Anissa saying it was such an interesting combination for your writing name, Lars Kepler. Thank you for the backstory on that. Sharath would like to know if the Joona Linna, which I just learned that's pronounced Joona, not, I was in my mind when I was reading it, I was pronouncing it Joona. It's Joona. So Sharath would like to know, is the Joona Linna story, a series, can it be read as standalones? This is number 8, or should they be read in order?
They can absolutely be read as standalones. And that is what we try to give our readers for each book, a totally new story. But then, of course, we have the epic long story about our main characters.
So if you really, really want to follow that from start, of course, you have to read the whole series. But
you don't have to read them in a special order.
You can pick any book.
In
the series and read them in any order you want to. Because
Excellent.
we're really trying not to spoil previous books.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Sharath, thank you for the question. So you have earned some incredible praise for this book, including a starred review from Publishers Weekly. Congratulations on that. Publishers Weekly raving, this book is stellar. The ability of Kepler to ratchet up the tension en route to a stunning reveal and an eminently fair solution is remarkable. This merits comparisons with the best of Thomas Harris. So let's talk about, from a craft perspective, how do you ratchet up the tension? How do you do that so that as we're reading it, we're getting more and more terrified?
That's a great question. I think, somebody said that when you write, the scene that follows must be even more important than the scene before, always, in a way. Yeah. And I think we try to push in a lot of tension in our stories and
push our characters.
Yeah, we push our characters.
But our only key is just write what we would love to read ourselves. That's it.
And we love wild stories. So
wild, extreme stories, but with a big heart, because we want it to end good, not tragedies. We want to have a happy end.
And I think maybe for us also, empathy is the most important thing. We really care about the people in our books.
Yeah, because how smart a plot, you can do the smartest plot in the world, but if the readers don't care about the characters, it doesn't matter.
It has to be a heart, and also it's personal in a way. We cry when we write.
We actually do that.
Yeah. So
I love that you cried. That's because
I'm so sorry for what happens to Jenny Lind. It's unbearable.
I'm sorry.
Yes. It was hard to read. I had to take breaks too, because you write it so convincingly, so intensely, that you really feel that as a reader. I want to remind everyone, this book is not even out yet. It is out tomorrow, but you can pre-order your copy today from Murder by the Book, our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore here, mystery dedicated bookstore. I'm putting the link in the comments, so grab your copy today, and the good folks at Murder by the Book will ship it to you tomorrow so that you can be reading The Mere Man, and then we can continue the conversation in our Facebook group, because you guys are going to want to talk about this book. Trust me on that. Leach is saying congratulations on your starred review. Absolutely. And publisher, and that is not the only praise. Booklist said that it is a bar-raising entry in a series that unfailingly blends streamlined plotting, smart psychological suspense, and explosive conclusions with gritty portrayals of human evil. Wow. Booklist just bringing it home. I mean, what a dream review. Literally every single thing you want there. Praising your ability to plot, have smart psychological suspense, explosive, as you said, exciting books, with gritty portrayals of human evil, getting again a testament to your ability to get in the mindset of these killers. So congratulations again on that. Anissa saying happy pub day tomorrow. Yes, pub day here in the US. Leach is saying congratulations on your pub day launch. Sharon, on your book launch tomorrow. Susan would like to know, is there a particular writer that motivated you to become a writer? So you spoke earlier about Steve Larson. Anyone else?
Oh, we have a really strong tradition in Sweden about crime writing and crime reading as well. So I think we are children of this tradition in one way, but on the other hand, we really feel like rebels as well. We feel free. So I think, again, maybe my answer is boring, but I have been reading all my life so much, and I think reading and writing are connected in a way.
We're such a big readers. We actually started a book discussion club for two. So we have every day we read like almost an hour, and then we discuss what we have been reading.
So it's one of the best moments in the day. So in the afternoon before we start making dinner, we just sit side by side and read.
Yeah, we just finished Sally Rooney.
Yeah.
Oh, Sally Rooney. Oh, great. Excellent.
So we read everything.
Yeah.
And
so from crime fiction to poetry.
Oh, you read poetry. Wow, that really is everything. Okay, great. Sharon is saying mysteries can really take you away. He's been reading a lot more of them too. Sharon, exactly, right? Leisha is saying thank you once again for answering her question. Leisha, this is what we're about here. This is, it, Mystery and Thriller Mavens is where readers get to connect with their favorite authors, meet their next favorite authors, get the inside scoop on all of this. Oh, Sharon would like to know, how much time do you take off between books? So when did you finish writing The Mere Man, and how much time did you take off?
That's a great question too. So it depends, but usually we are not very good at not writing. I think we need to write in a way, so it makes us happy.
It's always less than a week anyway.
Yeah.
So, well, holidays, that's not for writers. If you have a holiday, you want to write on your holiday. So.
Yeah. We can absolutely change place if we didn't have a pandemic, of course. Yeah. We would love to sit under the sun or something, but we would still write, or at least discuss next plot, next book.
So we don't take off between the books.
It's so great to see your love of writing, and even though it is also your job, that has not taken the work of it or the pressure of it, because your books, I mean, with millions and millions of copies in print worldwide, continuing to earn incredible praise, does the pressure ever feel crippling or paralyzing? Like, oh gosh, how will we ever do as well as we did on this one, or better? I mean, how do you keep going up?
I think that that is also a great question. Yeah, there is pressure, but it's kind of that you want so much good for your book. It's when the book is being published, it's kind of how will this go? Will anybody want to read it? It's always the same thing. And we have written so many books, but it's always this feeling of, sending out your defenseless child on the
cruel world.
In the cruel world, yes.
So it is the same, no matter, even with over 10 million copies in print, even with starred reviews from Publishers Weekly and everybody out there, even with Brad Thor, the #1 New York Times bestselling author of Black Ice, raving that you are dark, disturbing, and chillingly relentless. Even with all of this, you still worry about sending your defenseless baby out. That actually makes me feel better.
Yeah, I can never get used to it, but I think.
But during the writing process, we never think about it.
No,
we are still in our bubble writing.
And the writing doesn't feel like a job. It feels like
it's a privilege. It's,
a privilege, absolutely. But then when the book is out, it's really scary in a way.
To us, it's like writing. It's like having a jam session, jazz jam session. Yes, play along and have fun.
Oh, I love that. Sharath would like to know, what is the future of the Joona Linna series? Can we expect new books from you besides this series?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We have just written the next book after The Mirror Man, actually. So,
but besides the series,
can you tell us anything about that next book?
Oh, well,
no, I don't.
Not yet.
It's too early.
Let's stick to The Mirror. It's too early, because
it's too early. Okay, no.
But she wonders if we can write books beside of this series. Also, is that the question?
Yeah.
Well, we will probably not do it under the pen name Lars Kepler, but together we can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
We're talking about other books, other stories.
Absolutely. We have always said that we are not making any rules just because having rules. We have to do what we want to do. So if there would be a great idea to another book, we would absolutely write it.
You can't force creativity in that way. So if you don't want to write something, it will, it won't work. No.
So Sharath, absolutely, we are open to this. But we haven't done it yet. But
and since we love the Joona Linna series,
we love that universe. We still want to know more about him.
We're curious about him still. It's like a really old friend, but he keeps some secrets from us. So we meet him every day, but still we're curious.
And I think that is why we like to write about him so much, because we want to know more about him.
Oh, I love that. You want to know more about this character that you have created, this Joona. Well, what a perfect note to end on. So it looks like we are out of time. And I just want to remind you all to grab your copy today. Here's the link. Click over, pre-order it, and the good folks at Murder by the Book will send it out to you tomorrow, and then come over and join the Facebook group where we continue the conversation. So as you're reading, we can talk about Joona, we can talk about your favorite parts, we can talk about all the things. So come on over, free and open to all. Anissa is saying thank you. What a great conversation. And thank you, Sara, for continuing to bring us great author events. Oh, Anissa, you're so welcome. It's my pleasure. And again, thank you to Lars Kepler for joining us all the way live from Stockholm, Sweden. And as Sharon is saying, thank you for the great interview. Sharath saying, congratulations on your publication again, guys. And as if you've been here before, that whenever we have an international author, I always try to say a quick hello in their language. So here is my attempt at Swedish. Hej och välkomna mystiska läsare. Jag är din värd, Sara DiVello, which is welcome, mystery and thriller readers. I'm your host, Sara DiVello.
Perfect.
Welcome.
Thank you for your
question, Alexandra.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. And Mystery and Thriller Mavens, I will see you tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern, where we will be talking with mystery book critic Aline Cogdal. She's going to give us her top picks for 2022. I have a feeling Lars Kepler will be on it. And I also have Marie Rutkowski, who's going to give us the inside scoop on Releasy. I'll see you tonight. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.